Hello to our members, families, and friends of INCOSE. We are operating in trying times, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to share with you the initiatives and the changes we have made to continue to support INCOSE and yourselves in these trying times. Now, what I will mention today are only the highlights. The details will follow over a series of emails and communications, social media over the next few weeks. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out and ask through helpdesk@incose.org. Now, for today's message, I've grouped the initiatives and the changes under three categories: online collaboration, operational impacts, and community services offerings. Now, I'll start first with the online collaboration category. And as you can expect, we have accelerated our online collaboration capability. You can now use Zoom, WebEx, or Global Meet for all your virtual meetings. And by the end of April, we will have rolled out a number of licenses around the world and the means to book and schedule a meeting no matter where you are located. It will be a much better and more streamlined approach than what you've previously been experiencing. We're also going to set up a web page that will help you with some training hints, some guidance, and we'll keep that up to date with frequently asked questions. We're also working on offering collaboration tools such as Microsoft Teams and Slack, and we're doing this more at an enterprise level for a not-for-profit organization, and this will facilitate working groups, task teams, and chapters to carry out their activities and sharing information as they remotely work together. In support of all our virtual meetings and our events, we've started to roll out various backgrounds. Some have already been rolled out. You can see that through social media and our internet site. We can also utilize our different logos like I've done in this background. I've used the terrific 30th anniversary logo and I've placed that on top of a lovely photo. And you can do the same. So please take advantage of using the backdrops and logos that we have provided. Now, there's two more areas on online collaboration that I'd like to mention. The first is to do with YouTube videos. In the immediate future, I'm really happy to announce the 30th anniversary video. It's a great video celebrating 30 years of INCOSE. We also have another video for you on INCOSE, general background of systems engineering, where the company, where the organization is going, and where we'll be heading in the future. Both are very informative, very interesting, and I hope that you can take great advantage of using them for promoting INCOSE, promoting systems engineering in general. The second item is related to direct access to the board of directors. Now, what we're going to do there is actually a two-prong approach. The first is Ask the Board website, and the second is Time with the Presidents at our international events. Regarding Ask the Board website, we have set up under Connect a site where any member can go in and ask a question. It will be workflowed through to the appropriate board member and responses will be forthcoming. Now, we can actually set this up for any member to ask a question directly, and that same question and response will be available to all members. But should a member like to ask a question under more private arrangements, this also will be available where a member can ask a question and a response will be made available, but only visible to the member. So in seeing that, you can see that asking the board, you actually be able to respond in a more timely manner and hopefully answer some direct queries. The second approach, Time with the Presidents, we are incorporating a session at both the International Workshop and the International Symposium where the President and President-elects will be able to answer questions. It will basically be a free-form Q&A session where you can actually ask the questions directly or use an application. And I can hope you can see by implementing both these approaches, the Board of Directors is more accessible to all members. Now I'll just move on to the second category of operational impacts, and I'll highlight the changes we've had to make to address the constraints of COVID-19, No one and nobody, no organization has been immune to the constraints that have been imposed. So firstly, we have allowed the officers to be given the authority to act on behalf of the larger board of directors to respond to COVID-19 challenges that require a faster, more timely response for all non-strategic topics. And actually, we've had this in place now for the last 6 weeks, and I'm happy to report that we've been able to respond in under 48 hours every time. That's been quite a challenge for some of us. Now, next part of our operational changes is in relation to our publications of the SC Journal and Insight magazine. Although printing of the hard copies continue, we've been notified that this may be impacted or stopped in the future depending on the situation at the various printing houses. Likewise, there is likely to be interruptions to shipping and transport. As such, I highly recommend anyone who hasn't done so already to actually switch over to digital versions of these publications. Our internationally recognized certification program has not gone untouched. If you consider the restrictions with regards to travel and gathering numbers, it has created some difficulties for members in pursuit of their certification or maintaining this qualification. Now, as such, we've had to introduce 2 changes to the certification program. Firstly, the certification exam eligibility period has been extended to the end of 2020 for all candidates whose eligibility exam date expired at any time during 2020. Secondly, the number of professional development units, PDUs, for systems engineering professional renewals has been reduced from 120 PDUs to 90 PDUs in 2020. Now, these changes have taken into consideration the inability to sit for an exam, the inability to attend or participate in a training program, and the inability to attend or participate in an event, particularly when the event's been cancelled. So these decisions have taken into consideration all of these criteria, and we've made these adjustments, which we will review in the October timeframe. Lastly, although it's not related to COVID-19 directly, and I'm happy to report that it's not, it's been more important than ever to modify and promote our INCOSE Technical Leadership Institute program. It continues to be a 2-year program, but now it has evolved to be a completely online experience, and this will be introduced at the launch of Cohort 6 in July. The TLI program is now a blend of synchronous online learning and asynchronous team collaboration to deliver all content and learn together. And this is great news. And I urge any member that's considering joining this program to do so, or please at least make it aware to your employer of the advantages of being part of this program. Lastly, but not least, is the third category, community services offerings. And I hope you'll find this interesting. We've been approached by many individuals, as you would imagine, on what is INCOSE doing with respect to COVID-19? Or how can I help INCOSE get involved on COVID-19 topics and many other related questions. Now, I hope you can all appreciate it, that this is a very complex, emotional and political topic, and one that we have to tread with caution and need to consider the very many different elements involved. However, we have set up a discussion group to get this underway. There's a discussion group under the INCOSE Facebook page, and there's another one under LinkedIn. And we've already started a discussion thread under the INCOSE Facebook page for members to share and their ideas and stories on what they're doing to help support and create additional infrastructure or meet the needs for the people and the healthcare workers affected. We're also reaching out to our corporate advisory board organisations to find out what they've been doing, to look for the good news stories, the changes in a systems approach, what they've done to help tackle COVID-19 crisis. And this could include modifying their production lines to include the production of healthcare products that they've never ever been involved with before. In addition, we're looking at building a connection site to link members to needs of COVID solution development. We're also looking at holding a series of webinars for question and answers on all things of interest related to systems engineering. And we're investigating working with appropriate experts to develop a systems model that holistically describes where the needs are, what's working and what is not working. Now, while we're all focusing on what INCOSE can bring to address COVID-19, or for that matter, any other world crises of such magnitude, there are other services that we are now introducing to support and lend themselves to remote participation for our members. And they largely fall under education and training arena. And I'll mention two such initiatives now. The first is the webinar and presentation educational offerings, and the second is the book club. Now, these two initiatives can support people that might find they have additional time on their hands. Each can be recognized by the individual or his or her employer as professional development fulfilling potential training requirements. And that's very important in this period in time. And I'm sure that your employers would greatly appreciate these initiatives. And likewise, these initiatives can be considered for credits towards a professional qualification, including our certification programs for ACEPs and CCEPs and our renewals of their qualification through professional development units. Now, regarding the webinar and presentation educational offering, we'll be using historical content that is relevant to today's situation. The intent is to run a series of previously recorded webinars over specific time periods, both available to members and to the public for the first time. We're also going to look at representing material from previous events. We can and do plan to hold online discussions where possible to involve the presenter in a Q&A time against these recordings. And we'll also be looking at reviewing our Systems Engineering 101 series to make it available online. So I'm hoping that you can all take advantage of this initiative. The second one is regarding the book club, and it's a very broad term. And what I consider it's a discussion group that can meet online to discuss a textbook, a chapter in a textbook, a paper, a newsworthy article, or something similar. And we plan to start these clubs in each sector over the course of the next few weeks. And we hope that in time, they'll be self-perpetuating, so there'll be multiple clubs in different sectors and focusing on whatever topic they wish to, that they've decided in a previous meeting. And as such, we do hope that there will be lots of book clubs around the world. Now, as I mentioned, the first one we're going to help roll out before the end of this month. Now, some of you may ask, what about our international symposium scheduled in July 2020 in wonderful Cape Town? Well, I have intentionally omitted this from today's message. There will be a message delivered in early May, as we have previously advised, and it will provide the details on the way forward. And we have actually leaving that to just under 2 months out, or actually, sorry, it is more than 2 months out, because we want to give you the details of what actually will be occurring so that you can be involved at the appropriate time. Now, rest assured, we have a very dedicated group working on this difficult challenge. Now, to summarize, I've provided the highlights of the initiatives and challenges under these three categories of online collaboration, operational impacts, and community services offerings. And as I've previously mentioned, we'll be rolling out more details on each of these over the next few weeks. And if you do have any questions, please reach out to the help desk at incose.org. Now, look, I trust that you can appreciate the effort and diligence required to offer these initiatives and adjust our operations in such a short time, and to continue to support you and INCOSE under this period of duress. It hasn't been easy, but I find it quite amazing and really uplifting that a group of volunteers from across the globe can come together to provide these services. On this note, I'd like to acknowledge the incredible hard work of our volunteers. We're all trying to work under difficult employment arrangements. We are juggling home life, work life, homeschooling, while trying to cope with the stress of looking after our loved ones who may be ill or knowing someone who is ill, and practicing social distancing, or in some case, self-isolation, which is not so easy for a lot of us. And in all of this mix, we have to remember our volunteers have risen to this occasion. I'm immensely lucky to be part of this team. So to all INCOSE volunteers, a huge thank you for your dedication and professionalism, and another thank you to your families for the supporting our endeavours. To repeat a quote regularly said in Australia, we are all in this together. Thank you for your time. Keep well, keep safe.